I've got some really great simple gardening tips for your body because it's pretty common to have aches and pains after a day or an afternoon digging around in the garden, right? All that bending, lifting, carrying can really take a toll. So I've got some really simple ways for you to do the things you love, like gardening, while keeping your body happy and healthy. So let's come over here. Now, oftentimes when we're in the garden, a lot of times during the year, we're weeding. So weeding is getting all these, of course, little bits and pieces out of the garden. And many times we might just do something like this, where our spine will round, and we might go like that. And it's that rounding of the whole spine, especially in the lumbar spine, is where some of that low back pain really shows up for us. So one simple, quick tip is to try to bend less from the lumbar and tucking your tailbone and more from hinging the hips like so. But if you're hinging your hips and your hamstrings tell you can't get any further, then you can bend the knees and just shift the hips back so that your heels, you've got the weight in your heels, your butt back, and you can try that for a little bit. Right? And so the key with keeping your body feeling really good while you're gardening is to not stay in the same position the whole time. So if I've just shifted my hips back, bent, and now here, then maybe I'll also add a little squat. And it's nice to have diversity in your squat as well. So for instance, this squat here, I've got 1 foot forward, 1 knee bent, and then I might dig in like so. And then I might stand and then switch and do the other leg and get in there. Maybe after that, after a minute, 30 seconds, however long, I go back into that little mini squat, hips back, hinging from the pelvis movement. Maybe you have one leg forward. And then you can even get creative and do a little bit of a lunge. You can have this with the back leg, like here, reach. I like adding the extra reach for me because I like that extra feeling of stretching my arms. Right, so the key is to move in as many different ways as possible. Hopefully that gave you a bunch of different things to do. But let's say you're down and you're needing to plant some seeds. So let's come a little bit closer and I'll show you here. So if you're okay in a squat, or if you're not okay in a squat like I'm in, guess what you can do? So I happen to have these random pieces of cement here. So you can actually get creative with the things that you have in your yard and put them underneath your heels like that. So now all of a sudden the squat is a lot more comfortable, and then I can get in there, plant my seeds, do my weeding, whatever it is that I need to do. So use a piece of really anything that you have in your yard for that extra support. And then don't be shy to go into some of those same variations that I showed previously, but with that extra support on the heels. All right, so those are really quick tips for you in your gardening. Variety and diversity in the way that you move, change up your positions in a lot of ways, shift your hips back so that your backside, your glutes are doing most of the work, and most of all, enjoy the time that you have in your garden. Thank you.